Non-GMOs, or non-genetically modified organisms. This is starting to appear on a lot of food labels recently, and we're about to see it on a lot more food labels. Let's find out why, and if something's important that we should be concerned about. All that and more coming up next on this installment of Understanding Your Food Label. When I first started to see this label all over many food labels, it sparked my interest because people have been modifying the genetics of plants and animals with selective breeding for more than 12,000 years, way back in 10,000 BC and maybe even before. There are very few things that modern humans eat that have not been messed around with. Since humans stopped living a nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle and the agricultural revolution started, I mean, check out these pictures of modern corn versus wild corn, and the same with pigs and cows, watermelon, and more. However, today's definition of what a genetically modified organism is a bit different than what humans have been doing for the last 10,000 years. The definition goes like this. A genetically modified organism, or GMOs, is a living organisms whose genetic material has been artificially manipulated in a laboratory through genetic engineering. This creates combinations of plants, animals, bacteria, and virus genes that don't occur in nature or through traditional crossbreeding methods. I personally am not a fan of the new definition because almost any genetic mutation can happen in nature given enough time. But let's go with it since that's what's on food labels and that's what it's based on. Today, most GMOs have been engineered to withstand the direct application of herbicides and or to produce insecticides. However, new technologies are now being used to artificially develop other traits in plants such as resistance to browning in apples and to create new organisms using synthetic biology. There's been a lot of progress, but nothing compared to the last 10,000 years of selective breeding. Now that we have an understanding of what GMOs are, let's look at the pros and the cons of genetically modifying our food using modern science. I like to start with the pros, so let's dive into the top 5 reasons to support genetically modified food. Number 1, more nutrition benefits. Genetically modified plants have minerals and vitamins added to them via these modification processes, thus more nutrient-rich fruits and vegetables. This is particularly important for developing countries where they have less access to needed vitamins and minerals. Number 2, food shows improvement in taste. GMO crops have their flavors enhanced. For example, peppers become spicier, corn sweeter, and in general flavors can be made more palatable with technology. Number 3, better seeds and more resistant to disease. Altering seeds' DNA can generate healthier crops by increasing resistance to insects and lowering the risk of crop failure because the seeds can handle more extreme weather. This technology also works like plant vaccine encoded in the gene instead of giving it to them in a shot, kind of like what we get. Similarly, genetically modified animals can also withstand harsh climates and resistance against many diseases. Number 4, there are some possible environmental benefits. GMO crops demand fewer chemicals, land, and machinery, which helps to decrease environmental pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Farmers have enhanced productivity without the use of as many chemicals as were needed in the past. Number 5, and definitely not least, but what I would consider to be one of the biggest upsides are the medical benefits. Now I'm sure I'm a bit biased with this one, but the use of molecular biology and genetics in agriculture produces vaccines, proteins, and other pharmaceutical products. Biological substitutes can replace the use of chemical in medicine with lesser side effects. Now let's jump to the top 3 reasons not to support genetically modified organisms. Number 1, knowledge can be easily abused. Genetic engineering can change the specific traits in both plants and animals, which can create ethically questionable outcomes. Who's to say what's ethical and what's not? But as bioengineering becomes easier and easier, this question will come up over and over again with who knows what kind of outcome. Number 2, all the unknown negative side effects. Genetic engineering guarantees to make positive changes, creating more and healthier foods. However, some of these changes can be negative and unexpected. For example, plants that have been modified could become so strong that they can't be removed from the area that they were originally planted. Animals modified for greater milk production might have a shorter lifespan, so that farmers must replace the livestock more often. Number 3, bacteria, virus, and fungi could adapt to the new genetic profiles. Genetic engineering creates resistance against some pathogens for plants and animals. But the bacteria and virus will evolve also, and they'll also become more resistant as GMOs are produced. This causes stronger pathogens that are harder to kill. This could have the very real potential of creating future health problems that we may not be equipped to handle. Now that we know the pros and the cons of genetically modified organisms, let's learn how to identify if our food contains them. Although GMO food appears safe to eat, some people wish to avoid them. But this can be difficult since most food in your supermarket are made with ingredients from GMO crops. GMO crops grown and sold in the United States include corn, soybean, canola, sugar beet, alfalfa, cotton, potatoes, papaya, summer squash, and a few apple varieties. And currently in the United States, there are no regulations currently mandated that labeling of GMO foods are even necessary. This will be changing at the end of the year because as of January 2022, the USDA will require food manufacturers to label all food containing GMO ingredients with the term bioengineered food. I prefer this term, it makes more sense. It will display either as the USDA bioengineered food symbol listed on or near the ingredients, or as a scannable code on the package with directions such as scan here for more information. Today, some foods have a third-party non-GMO project verified label, which indicates that the product contains no GMOs. But not all non-GMO foods have this label today. But what we can look for today is food labeled 100% organic, because these foods do not contain any GMO ingredients because US law prohibits this. But don't get confused with just organic, because with this label, GMOs are allowed. The European Union is ahead of the US in regards to GMO food labels. Foods in the EU with more than 0.9% GMO ingredients must list genetically modified or produced from genetically modified with the name of the genetically modified organism next to it. For foods without packaging, these words must be listed near the items such as on the supermarket shelving, marketing material, making it easy for Europeans to make informed decisions. So you ask, what's the bottom line? Technology comes with both advantages and disadvantages. While genetic engineering in agriculture can create results that are generally positive and may feed many people that are left hungry today, there must be strict control to manage the negative effects. I say let's welcome the changes to come because humans have been modifying their food for well over 10,000 years, and there's probably no stopping it anyway. However, with that being said, let's also keep a close eye on anything that looks exceptionally bad for humanity or the environment and boycott those foods if necessary. That's always what I do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I put out a new video each and every week to help us all stay in the best health possible. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay curious. And as always, have a beautiful day.